Hi everyone, welcome back to Home and Harvest. In this video I wanted to share with you our current home and where we are coming from. If you watched our last video, you saw that we are getting ready to move our whole family from Western North Carolina to Iowa to start a homestead and just a whole new way of living for our family, and we couldn't be more excited. But we definitely have a lot to miss with what we're leaving. We're leaving family behind, and we love the mountains here and just so much about this area that we do love. So please pardon the loud traffic sounds. This is our typical soundtrack to the outdoors here. I'm excited to have some quiet where we're going. But anyway, I just wanted to remember for our memories too, this is the home that we brought our youngest baby Mabel home to. And so I'm just going to show you around the outside where we live currently, and if you stick around to the end of the video, my husband is going to show you one of his favorite trails in the area, and he is so knowledgeable in wild edibles and different things that grow all around in nature. And he's going to show you some of the things that grow around here in Western North Carolina if you're interested in that. And also just so we can remember hiking and his favorite trail. So, because we're not quite sure what to look forward to in Iowa, like what kind of trails they have or anything like that. So, hi Archer. Alright, without further ado, please enjoy the video of our home, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye. Alright you guys, this is our home that we are moving away from. Hi Archer! Don't mind the mess on the porch. We've been downsizing and going through things. But yeah, this was our little home we've lived in here. Here's our swing. You know, when you're stuck at home, you put your swing out in your front driveway so you can watch all the cars drive by. We do have this little bit of yard here that the kids like to play in, but we kind of live like in the center of this big community, so it's not really our yard. It's people coming by, walking by, driving through the grass, all that sort of thing all the time. So yeah, I had to watch the kids out here. They can't just run out here. But yeah, you can see we're like right at a busy intersection. Cars, we have like these big trucks that go by all the time. All day long. This is a Sunday, so it's the one day that they don't drive by. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to hear me on this video. I don't want to show too much of where we live, but here's our mountains across the way. We will definitely miss our mountains. There's Archer. There he is. Hey, bud. It's a lot we're gonna miss, and family and everything else, but we are so excited. Show me your bean seed, buddy. This was a seed bomb he got for school, and he planted, and he said it's growing. We hope to grow a lot more than just that in the future. What else do you have?
This.
What is it?
It's my seed thing.
Oh yeah, this is his worm farm too. He's got worms living in there. Worms are good for our garden, huh? Okay. Okay, this is the back of our house. I wanted to show you. This is the extent of my gardening knowledge here. We are definitely starting from scratch, learning on this homestead, but I'm so excited. Anyway, my mom and I built these garden boxes like 3 years ago, maybe. There's obviously nothing in here now because we're leaving, and we're gonna leave these here. I got untreated wood, so you can see it's kind of starting to rot and fall apart. But yeah, those were some really great garden boxes while we were here. And really, really good soil in there too. Lots of life in that soil. Let's see, where did my buddy go? This is the side of our house. This planter I'm bringing with me, I've never liked it because of how it's hard to get things to grow. They have to grow sideways out of those little holes. It fell over in a big storm we had the other night. But I'm planning to bring this with me and try to get something working. I have to fix the pole in the middle, but we'll get it worked. We'll get it fixed.
Break it.
What?
Can you break it so it can be perfect?
Yeah, I'll fix it, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, that's our little home.
As some of you know, we're leaving Western North Carolina soon for Iowa. And the flora and fauna there are going to be way different than here. So I just wanted to take a few minutes and walk through one of my closest and favorite trails to our house. And I'm going to watch back on this video and reminisce on some of the things that we're going to miss. Just within a few minutes, I already find cool things on this trail every single time. And we just had a good rain, so there's probably some good fungi too. So I'm going to walk you through and we'll point out some wild edibles and all the many cool things that I find here all the time. Right, here's some wild lettuce. And then you can see lots of creeping Charlie around on the ground. That's those little purple flowers, that plant. Those are also edible. Looking around, you'll find plenty of violet leaves. You'll see some garlic mustards and jewelweed, pokeweed. There's all sorts of stuff around here because this is kind of like a neglected backwoods trail. So lots of things pop up, lots of deer mushroom, oysters. I'll walk down there. There's a little creek bed down there, which is pretty cool. And then all along this path, there's lots of self-heal. There's some dock, lots of dock. And you walk through here, there's wild roses. There's several different softwoods, just a few hardwoods. And you'll see, yep, right here, I think that's some wild rose. There's also black raspberry that gets back here a lot. So this is a really awesome trail that I'm definitely going to be missing. You can look all around here. And straight ahead there's a pile of firewood there that is neglected, has been there forever. I get lots of oysters off of it. Pretty amazing spot. And water kind of collects along the trail a lot, so the plants love it back here. So you can see the firewood, and then along this right side, actually on the other side of that hill, is a retirement community. And they dump a lot of plants down here, so you'll find some really crazy randoms, some variegated things here and there. There's also up there, I don't know if you can see it, some honesty, which is sold in floral bundles. So that's always kind of fun for somebody like me that's trying to identify everything. I find some things that shouldn't be there, which is cool. See that vinca back there, periwinkle. Plenty of poison ivy too, as you can see right there. Different kinds of ferns, none of the edible ones. Here's this firewood pile, which actually lately hasn't been looking that great, so you don't really see anything right now. A lot of good wildflowers like fleabane. Lots of maples, tulip poplar. This is a massive wild rose bush here. Made some ice cream off of the blossoms of that last year. Some random mahonia back there. This ground cover here. You can see the creek down there. And I often stumble upon rabbits and different birds. Once a deer, really near here, also a bear once, so pretty cool wildlife spot. I wanted to do a little video of this spot. This is kind of my secret spot on the trail, and it has plentiful edible mushrooms, but there are two varieties that I don't care for personally, but they're always back here. And so one is an ink cap, Coprinopsis variegata. Not the tastiest thing, but some people love them. And also deer mushrooms are all over back here always. And luckily I have a friend that loves them, so I usually pick them for him. Me, I think they're pretty disgusting. So maybe we'll see some of those back here. But this is one of my favorite spots, kind of tucked away along the creek bed. There's a little firewood, but there's also a lot of rotting wood and stuff down on the bottom. You can see here there's some remnants of the ink caps, all the ink on the ground there. And then here's some on the way to ink right there. This firewood, it's insane. Right along this area, there's thousands and thousands of ink caps that just pop up overnight sometimes, and then they're gone a day later. I also found 1 or 2 morels in this area too. I keep hoping there'll be more, but there isn't. Let's check out this cool little guy. Some kind of cup fungus, maybe Galliella rufa related. Come around this side, and every once in a while there's a couple oysters over here. Oyster mushrooms. And what's cool about this area is even if you don't find something you're looking for, you always find something else useful. See this little patch of wild violets there? We do lots of jam out of those and syrup. Just got to be careful out here. There's tons of poison ivy, and I'm pretty allergic to it. And spider webs. That's why I got to back up there. Section here, this is along the creek bed. You might notice there's no flowing water here. This is actually a portion where it runs under, so occasionally I'll be walking along and it'll get a little soft and I know I could fall through, so I got to step aside. But I'll go a little bit slower through here, and maybe in the comments you can point out anything you notice that I don't mention, which I mean could be anything. I am noticing right now this is usually a good spot to find some Hypholoma mushrooms. There's also usually some deer mushrooms along here. I think I saw one a moment ago. They blend in pretty well. There's one right down there. So I'm gonna bend down and grab that one here. Nice. So I don't ever find any of my favorite mushrooms back here, like hedgehogs or chicken, but I do find lots of good ones. So just for anybody that doesn't know, all of this along here, this is all jewelweed. They also call the flowers touch-me-nots because you can pop them. And if you don't know this already, it grows right beside poison ivy, which is pretty cool. So you can see there's some poison ivy there, and there's its antidote right beside it. Usually about this point, I take a look up at my firewood pile. There's usually some oysters sticking out. Nothing today though. And you can also notice this is kind of a little dumping ground, which is not cool. But usually it's nothing chemical, because I wouldn't eat anything from an area that has spilled chemicals. But most of it's pretty natural, and I try to pick up anything that's unnatural. Now coming down this way, you'll notice the creek starts picking up again. See some water along there. I usually try to walk along the steep edge here so I don't fall in. Especially since this is kind of on the way from work to home, and I'll walk it in my work clothes, so I usually don't have the best shoes for this. Here's a little hole here, so right through that hole you would see the creek. I don't know if we'll see it on video yet. You can even see it running there a little bit. So I'm gonna hop across. This is where my spot is that it's safest to cross. The ground is a little bit soft. And there's a big old pile of fallen trees and logs and stuff over here. And it's either barren or it's covered in oyster mushrooms. It's usually one or the other. And every time it's barren, I wonder why I came all this way. And every time it's covered, I'm reminded. So all the mushroom hunters out there look at this spot like heaven. Like, oh yeah, look at all the opportunity. Although I'm down to 5% battery, so you may not even get to see anything found. But at least you know my secret spot. So if you come to Fletcher, North Carolina, and I'm gone and living in Iowa, you could track it down. And you can have it if you can find it. Alright, that's it for this battery, 3%. I hope that was a nice picture of my favorite, most common walked trail, and only like 2 other people ever walk it, and only one of those is into mushrooms and wild edibles. So it's a pretty awesome spot. I'm definitely gonna miss, but we'll find some new ones up in Iowa. Alright guys, thanks for watching. See ya. Okay guys, I lied. I had to turn it back on with just 2% battery left here because I just found one of my favorite mushrooms ever right here. Check them out. These are crown-tipped fungi. At the moment I can't think of the Latin name. It ends in Pixodatus, I think. But man, are these good. Sauteed, they taste all peppery and soft. They're so delicious. And they got little crowns at the end, so they're pretty easy to identify. These are probably on their last day of edibility. You can see the brown kind of starting to creep up them, but they're still standing tall, so I'm about to pick these and have these tonight. So I just wanted to show you that cool find real quick before this iPod dies. Pretty awesome.